Hey guys, today I want to talk to you guys a little bit and kind of explain our new model that we've just come up with, and it's called the Tiger Twin, and it is a super fun little board. Got its name, Tiger Twin. Two boards we kind of put together. One is the white tiger, front end of the white tiger, the nose, the wider nose, and then the rocker and the tail and all the rest of the contours on the bottom. Everything came from this board that we've been making for a long time. It's a little bit of a cult favorite kind of board, something that my team riders really like, and it's called the Happy Twin. So we took kind of the best parts of those two boards and combined them together, and we got the Tiger Twin. Basic stuff on this board is you got a really flat rocker, flat entry rocker, and a really flat tail rocker, which is really super fast, right? You want a really fast board. This thing paddles really well, and it gets up and goes really quickly, which is really nice for a little fun, crappy wave board. The nose is really wide. Like I said, it's got a wider nose, and then it comes down to this wing and the tail, and then it pulls in at the tail. And what that outline does, leaving that wing, that wider tail until it breaks right there, it makes this outline real parallel, which is really nice for speed. So it gives you a lot of drive off that parallel, straighter outline. When you push the rail into the water, it's going down the line easy. That's why you also can ride it really short, because you get that drive off that rail line, which is nice. You can ride this thing, like if you're a high performance, like higher level surfer, you're going to ride this thing a few inches below your height for sure. And then for the more average guy, go into your like similar height. And then for more of like a lower level, intermediate or high level beginner, you're going to want to ride it pretty big, and it's going to be super fun and fast. The bottom on this board has a double concave through the whole bottom, and then that turns into a little double concave with a V running off the tail. And what that does with this wider outline, that double concave helps to break up the bottom into two pieces, and so it helps it roll rail to rail really easy, which is nice. And then as it comes back into the tail, there's V through the tail, and so the V drops this rail line, and so that creates more rocker through the tail on the rail than in the center. So you get the speed of that center line flat rocker with a little bit of V, which adds, when you lay it on rail, that V through the tail really lets it lay on rail real easily and hold the rail really nicely. It kind of releases a little bit of pressure through the tail as you go through that turn. Also, having that tail more pulled in at this wing right here helps keep the pressure down in the tail at high speeds. If you're going fast, which this board does pretty easily, then that high speed turn is going to be easier with a more pulled in tail. A wider tail block is going to create more pressure, and it's going to give you a little more lift, but it's also going to make it harder to roll through a turn. So this is really nice how you have that width coming in here, then as it pulls in through the tail, and it gives you some release also with that wing. The other part of this board that I really like is it has this wider area here and also some more meat up front, which really helps with paddling. And it also helps to keep speed up and flow through slower sections in a wave. If you have a little bit more thickness under your front foot in the front part of the board, keeps the nose up out of the water. When you're slowing down, it's keeping the board on top of the water and getting you going fast. And as you're paddling, it's giving you that meat underneath your chest, which is the heavier part of your body usually. And it's keeping you up out of the water and paddling easy, getting into waves and getting going really fast. The other part of the board that you'll notice, even though it's called the Tiger Twin, is it has 3 boxes. What we did is you can run this thing just a straight twin. People that ride twin fins and that love them will already understand that's a great way to go. Other people who are more thruster riders or quads, but you're kind of twin curious, then you can add a little trailer right here. So you can have a twin fin set up here with a little bit of a smaller trailer, which gives a little bit more stability, and it's going to be more of a familiar feeling for you. If you're someone that's used to 3 or 4 fins in your board, then you're going to have a little trailer in here, and then eventually you can take it out. Once you get used to the feeling and you want to ride as just a straight twin fin, then you can move that trailer, get rid of it, and see how things go there. The other thing that you can do, and this is kind of strange, but a lot of my team riders really like to ride this board just as a thruster. And so these fins, you can't really tell here, but the fins are set a little bit further back than normal because it's a twin fin, but the center fin, the trailing fin, is also set back further. And so when you put a set of thrusters in here, they're all just kind of shifted back. They're slightly more tightly clustered, so it keeps it real loose, but it still gives you a little bit more drive, and something that if you're familiar, if you're just real comfortable with a thruster, you could still ride this board that way too. What I recommend this board for is just for really weak little waves. This thing's going to fly and it's going to be really fun. If you want to get into like a little bit bigger surf, this board will handle too. It's something you can kind of experiment with, push it a little bit bigger. Even in hollow, good waves, this board's going to handle and work really well. The favorite though for me is like weaker, funky little mushy waves. One of my team riders, Benji Brand, said that it made him really want to go surf, even crappy little waves. He's getting in the water all the time. And that's kind of the goal right here. So that, in a nutshell, is the Tiger Twin. And it's just something to go have a really good time on. And we hope you like it. All right. Thank you so much. I'll see you later.